Where exactly should you place your tongue when you're singing? And is there an ideal tongue position that if you were to use it, you'll become a better singer? Well, let's find out now. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new to this channel, what I do is I help singers like yourself sing better by using the complete mixed voice vocal technique. So that even if you're not a Bruno Mars or a Shawn Mendes, after learning and applying the complete mixed voice vocal technique, you'll be able to sing those high notes as well. I upload new videos like this every Monday, Wednesday and Saturday. So go ahead, click on the subscribe button below and turn on the notification bell so that you frequently get awesome videos like this one. Let's begin. If there's one similarity amongst the best singers, it is this. The best singers all use a common tongue position when they are singing, regardless whether if they realize they are doing it or not. And this specific tongue position, it becomes extremely crucial when it comes to singing high notes, because if you don't follow this tongue position, chances are you are likely going to strain when you sing your high notes. Now, let's take a look at how famous singers are using this tongue position in their singing. I will hold on tight until the afterglow, and the burn so bright till the darkness softly ends. Just don't give up. I'm walking it out. This is called the forward arched tongue position. And as we just saw, it is literally what all the singers are using right now to be able to hit those high notes effortlessly. Now, before I explain the how and the nuance to using this forward arched tongue position, I want to first explain why is this tongue position so crucial and why is in fact the perfect tongue position for singing. So, if we were to take a look at this diagram over here, the reason why we want to be able to sing with a tongue that is arched and forward is because we want to sing with an open throat technique. Let me explain. When we want to sing with an open throat technique, we want to create an open space in our throat, otherwise known as the pharynx, and it is located right here. So, in order to create a larger space over here, we have to shift the tongue outwards so that there will be a bigger space back here, and that is what creates the open throat. Now, I've done a whole video talking about the open throat vocal technique, which I'll put a link in the description box below, so go ahead and check that one out after you're done with this video. But just for the sake of this video, understand that when you have an open throat, what it does is it allows your sound to be able to resonate better, because now there's this bigger open space for your sound to resonate in, and it also allows your vowels to be kept tightly and closely in that open pharynx. And when your vowels are kept tight and closely, it prevents you from yelling and shouting, especially when singing those high notes. Now, how can we use the forward arched tongue position for our singing? It's very simple actually. As the name suggests, you have to keep your tongue arched and forward. Arched and forward. But even though it's very simple, there are a few things that we need to take note of. First, one of the most common mistake is to actually bunch your tongue up like this. So when I'm doing this, it is still forward and arched, but it's not the correct position. What we want instead is we want a wide base of our tongue. We want it to be relaxed like this instead of like this. Because when our tongue is bunched up like this, what happens is it indicates that there is a lot of tension in your tongue. And we don't want any tension in your tongue. In fact, when you're singing, your tongue should actually be soft and relaxed. And the reason why your tongue should be soft and relaxed is so that it can go about forming the different vowels and the different consonants that's in the lyrics, so that you can express the song But when your tongue is bunched up and with a lot of tension, what it does is first, you can't even pronounce your words clearly. And not only that, it is a bad tension. Because then, your high notes will not be able to resonate freely. Because ultimately, when you're bunching up your tongue like this, a huge chunk of your tongue is still taking up the space behind. Whereas if you're to do this, now your whole tongue is being moved forward, and that is the real forward arched tongue position we want to employ here. Now, take a look again at these singers singing, and I want you to observe how their tongue is in a very wide bass position and not bunched up and narrow.
Little more touch my body, 'cause I'm so into you, into you, into you. I've been here all night. Look at that face, you look like my next mistake. Love's a game, wanna play.
So, follow these great singers and do exactly what they are doing. Keep the base of your tongue wide enough so that it is relaxed like this. Also, as a general guideline, I want you to keep the tip of your tongue behind the bottom of your teeth. So something like this. And at the sides of your tongue, it should be resting gently against the top of your front teeth. You can try it and you'll realize that it is easy to do and to maintain that tongue position when not singing just like this. But the challenge is, how do we maintain and employ this position, this tongue position, when we are singing? Of course, we're not going to keep the tongue position exactly like this throughout the song. Because the truth is, when we are singing different vowels and different consonants, what is going to end up happening is our tongue will deviate and shift away from this position to form different vowels and different consonants. For example, when you're singing the word love, love, what happens is your tongue will curl up to form the L. Love, love. So it is absolutely okay for a tongue to deviate away from this position for certain vowels and certain consonants. But what's important is treat the forward arched tongue position as the base position. So whenever you are singing a different consonants, a different vowels, you want to direct the position back to this. So for certain vowels like A and E, your tongue is already in that position to form the vowel. But if let's say I'm saying R, my tongue might shift a bit away from that position. Or darker vowels especially, like U or O, you will feel that the tongue is going to come back down just a little bit. But the goal here is to not let it sink too much. If else, your tongue will be taking up a space behind in the pharynx and causing your larynx to be pressed down, which is not what we want for healthy singing. So keep in mind, it is okay for a tongue position to deviate away from this position, but as much as possible, bring it back to this position. So if I'm saying the word love, love, notice how it eventually comes back to love. It comes back to that position again. Or other consonants, other words like nose, nose, mass, mass. Even though I close my mouth to find the M consonant, mass, I still want to lead whichever consonants and vowels into this home position, into this bass tongue position, and that's key. And if you were to try this tongue position when you're singing, you will also realize that it is easy to do that when you're singing in your low range. Very simple, very relaxed. You are able to do that because there's no tension. Your tongue is very relaxed. But here's the issue. When you sing higher, we still want to be able to keep the tongue out. So it is normally easier for lower notes, but as we approach high notes, especially if there's a lot of tension in your singing for your high notes, what's going to happen is you'll notice your tongue wanting to be pulled back. You want to pull your tongue back. And the reason why that happens is because when you're singing correctly, when you're singing scientifically correctly, what should happen is, as the acoustic energy, as the sound energy travels upwards, it should hit the wall of your pharynx and then be reflected off the walls of your pharynx. But if you notice your tongue being put back, what's actually happening is this. It tells me that there is not enough strength at the walls of your pharynx to support the sound. And as a result, your tongue is being put back. Your tongue is being put back to absorb the acoustic energy, which is not the right way to sing. Because when your tongue is tense, when your tongue is absorbing all the energy, what is going to end up happening is your tongue is not free to move. Your tongue is not free to form the different vowels and different consonants. And as a result, it is what causes your upper range, your high notes, to sound strained. So we don't want our high notes to sound like this. That is what will happen if your tongue is being put back. You want to be able to keep your tongue forward. So as you approach high note, you want to be able to keep it arched and forward as well. And as we ascend into even higher, especially the higher you go, the more it is necessary to keep your tongue out, because the higher note you go, the more space you need in your pharynx for a sound to resonate. So now what you want to do is continue keeping your tongue arched and forward. And not allow it to be put back like this. You can hear how the sound is more resonant, how my head voice is more resonant and bigger when I'm able to keep my tongue arched forward. And that is exactly what you need to achieve. Take a look at how Adam Lambert himself is doing it on that high note in this video. If you want to be able to sing with the correct tongue position, then you have to be able to tell yourself to use the forward arched tongue position. And the easiest way to do it is to actually do this vocal exercise here, and that is the NG slide. So simply just put your tongue forward and arch like this to form the sound and then you go slide from a bottom of a range all the way to the top of a range and then back down like this. What this does is it trains your tongue to stay there no matter where you are in your vocal range. And that is the one key vocal exercise that you can take away from today's video to actually practice forward arched tongue position. So I hope you took away some value from today's lesson and you have learned what is the perfect tongue position you should be using for your singing. Because the best and the famous singers out there are already using this very tongue position for their singing every day. So if you like this video, go ahead and hit the thumbs up button below. And please subscribe to this channel to help out the YouTube algorithm so that you get more awesome videos like this every week. Look, I've gotta go now, so I'll catch you again in the next video. Cheers!